know what I'm saying, you had Robin Hood, he was leading the peasants in a revolt against those, the governing authority. You know, that's just like what's happening in this country, where you got the people coming out with their own versions of the news and media, and they creating these lobbying positions, and jumping in and saying, no, this is how we want it to run. And so it's a battle between the common folk and those who are actually empowered to rule. It's the poor versus the rich, so to speak. So it gets deeper, you know what I'm saying? Because you got to think about it. Her Majesty the Queen is getting old. She has to pass it down. It's sad because her son, Prince Charles, he's old too. He's 60, almost 70 years old. So he's been waiting all this time for his mother to finally step down, so I can step in. Because now you no longer have a queen that's running everything, which is probably what was going on. Everybody was able to get certain things out of the queen. Her husband was never a king. He's still a prince, because she held the power and brought him along into the power. He's considered a prince. He would never rise above that of the prince, because he was not the one that was put in the power. She was. And as she would tell you, I rule by right, not by God. I mean, God is not the reason why I'm here in this position. By right, I rule. You see what I'm saying? Because the families put her there because it was her right. She was next in line. Next in line up under her is Prince Charles. And then under Prince Charles comes his sons. Prince Harry, Prince William. You know what I'm saying? And then you had all the rest of them, the dukes, and that's another one I was thinking about, the dukes. Dukes, earls, and viscounts. That's the line of succession. As long as there's a royal heir, a son born to the king, his family will always be the one in power. But should there not be anybody that's under the king, it should be a daughter, like Her Majesty the Queen. She would rule and she can marry, but her husband would never be king. He would still be subservient to her. She would be the queen. That's just how it goes. But if there's a son, but if there's no child at all born to the royal family, that's when all hell breaks loose, because all the houses are battling each other because they want the right to rule as king. They want to be the king. And that's where you start having all these battles and wars is going on amongst the inner parts of the country. And then they going to get their allies, you know what I'm saying, to help them. So that's where one might go to Britain, bring Britain in. One might go to France, I'm bringing France. England might say, I'll go get Germany. And the United States, and that's what brings all of these different things into war, into battle. And some say, I have family, not family, but I have ties over to the royal houses in Arabia. So that's how the kings of Saudi Arabia and all of them get brought into the battles. And then, you know what I'm saying, that's what has, so to stop it, they created the United Kingdom. That means the whole entire kingdom bows down up under one king, because that's how history has been going all this time. You as the common person, or the peasant, or the serf, you're doing all the battling and everything because you want your lord to rule. Because you know, once your lord rules, you get certain perks, being as part of being up under his lordship amongst all the rest of the servants, the serfs. You see what I'm saying? Because you're on the inside of this lord's serfdom. You know, so it's kingdom, it's fiefdom, whatever you want to call it. and that's where a lot of stuff started going good for you. Same thing as president. He from a certain state, so the people, residents of that state, will actually get perks. You know what I'm saying, above the rest of everybody else in the country. You understand what I'm saying? Saying what's going with this now. So when you look at it from a ruler's point of view of why we're having all these wars going on and everything, is because they was quelling a lot of the other countries, so therefore nobody can ever help another duke, or what you call it, rise up against the king. There's no king right now, there's a queen. But once she dies, or she hands off the royal crown to her successor, which is not undoubtedly going to be Prince Charles. Her son. He's going to bring along a lot of other stuff, because now Britain breaking apart, because we don't want to be under another man. Which lets me know that in the inner workings of it, the other kings from the other kingdoms, like from France and England, well, she was basically over England, but of the king of Great Britain, all of them was probably fucking Her Majesty the Queen. They was fucking them. You know, in order to get certain things, you know what I'm saying? The prince couldn't say shit. So he could, but in a sense, he couldn't. They wanted certain things. They was charming her or whatever, but they can't charm Prince Charles. You know what I'm saying? Then Prince Charles probably looking at it where, when I become king, I gotta get another queen. Or he probably got a girlfriend, whatever, you know what I'm saying? You just haven't heard of her. You see, when it comes to those princes, kings and princes are really not supposed to marry beneath their stature. They're really supposed to take on princesses from the other kingdoms. That's the reason why all those kingdoms literally are inbred, you know what I'm saying? They're family. All of those kingdoms are family. Because they're over the centuries, they've been marrying their children, the princes, off to the princesses of other royal houses. And then those then when they become king, the other ones drop down to duke or whatever, and they marry amongst all the what they call the royal women ladies. That's where the term lady come from. As a serf, you were never really meant to be called lady. Only a royal woman, a woman of royal stature was really meant to be called lady. It gets deep, you know. There's a lot of other stuff on it. So now everybody, you know what I'm saying, well, you're my queen, but you're not really a queen. But you're my queen, but you got somebody who's ruling over you. You're not queen. You're my lady. Really, you're not a lady. You're a girl. You know what I'm saying? It's all that other stuff. And then women saying, you're my king. Really, he's not a king. You see what I'm saying? It's the same way. Everybody wanted to imitate the royal family because they were the epitome of life itself. You understand where I'm going with that? So now it's very deep. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole lot more to it. But what's happening over there in the United Kingdom is causing a lot of problems in other countries, because now there's about to be a royal succession, and since there is a prince, the prince really has to watch his life, because there are other people who want his place, and especially there was a king over in, I think he's over in Germany. The Queen, Her Majesty the Queen, called him the pretender to the throne, because he's saying by right the throne really was supposed to be his. So everybody was talking about Adolf Hitler and all this other stuff. No, there was a succession that would happen, and the person who felt that he should have been king did not get the kingdom. So therefore, it caused a whole lot of confusion and a lot of ruckus going on in this world, and that's why you have World War II. Because the Germans were the main people of that was his allies, and then he had ties over there. They say America and Russia was running together. No, they teaching American history that Russia was our enemy up to a point. You know what I'm saying? But it was up to a point. But as you find out later, Hitler, what was his name? Mussolini. Mussolini did not like being told by Hitler how to run his goddamn army. So that's where they had a turn of the tide as they started battling each other, and they just took it that Russia was helping the United States, but really Russia got tired of Hitler. You gonna do this the way I say it. I'm the one that runs this, not you. But really, there was somebody else behind Hitler, and now you know. It was one of the kings, one of the princes of old, who felt that he was entitled to the throne, and so he went and got his allies within Germany and within Russia and within a certain few others. You know what I'm saying? They drug him into battle, and us being the allies of the of England, and it wasn't the United Kingdom then, of England and Britain, you know what I'm saying, all of them ganged up together, you know what I'm saying, the battle, like, look, this, Her Majesty the Queen is the one who's going to rule. She sits on the throne. That's going to be that. So everybody ganged up with her and fought against the rest of them over in Britain, not Britain, but Germany and all those others. See, the way station is closed. So that means I get to bypass, even though my sign is saying follow road signs, it's closed. So therefore I get to bypass. But anyways, it goes a lot deeper than that. That's why we had World War II. World War I was another battle of secession. You know what I'm saying? People envy the crown, and they want that dominance. They want the rulership over the royal throne. And so each one of those houses within the royal families brought in their allies. The United States was an ally to England, because the English helped us get rid of the Britons. You know what I'm saying? When we was actually fell up under the British throne. You know what I'm saying? We chased Great Britain up out of here. Which is why I came to question my ancestry. Because when the United States rose up and took over the rest of this country, up under the governing authority of the British, they ran Britain out of here. That means none of their soldiers, none of their people, nobody of British blood was allowed to stay here in this country. They got rid of all of them, sent them back over there to Great Britain. So me being a descendant of the slaves, which the slave trade didn't start until after Great Britain got ran up out of here, all of them was ran up out of here. How did I end up with part of my bloodline going back to Great Britain? And I'm a descendant of the slaves. And the slave trade didn't start until after the not the Civil War, after the American Revolution, the Revolutionary War. The slave trade started after the Revolutionary War. No Britons was allowed in the country after that for a long time. So how did I, a descendant of a slave, get British blood in me? So I had to question that. And it's a lot, you know, so I can understand Mexican being a part of my blood, my ancestry, you know what I'm saying? Because Mexicans was actually held captive and held in servitude along with what is called, was South America's Latinos. They went through all the same things black people was going through. They was getting enslaved. They was getting raped. They was getting murdered. They was getting hung from trees too. A lot of them try to act like it never happened, but it did. So I can understand us, you know what I'm saying, because some of us was mingling with the Mexicans. Just like having Native American blood. I got Native American blood in me. That's understandable because a lot of the Native Indians was mating with the slaves. So it's understandable. But how did I, being a slave, before all of that other stuff, I, being a descendant of slaves, get British blood in me? That let me know that half of me didn't come off the west coast of Africa. The other half of me came out of Europe, which Great Britain is part of Europe. Not only is British blood in me, but also English blood, French, you know what I'm saying, a lot of other stuff. So I had to ask, where did that come from if we came directly from the west coast of Africa over here? And then which was traded into the American economy for molasses and all that, and which was taken up to Great Britain and taken up to Europe and traded there for money. And then taken that over here, then the ships went back to Africa and to the west coast and got more slaves. That was the slave triangle. It went from Africa to the United States, from the United States to Europe, and from Europe to Africa. So how did it go in reverse? Going from Africa to Europe and then to the United States. That's the only way it could have happened. But then when I did my research, you know, I found out, you know what I'm saying, the Arabs was the first people to take slaves out of Africa. When they conquered the northern territories of Africa, and they were the first to take slaves out of Africa, and they took us up into the Middle East. And then the Middle East, you know what I'm saying, they was dealing with the Europeans, and so they sealed ties with us by giving royal gifts. And they had certain slaves that was royal, that was a royal gift. Not just slaves, you know what I'm saying, not just any slaves, you know what I'm saying, was given as a gift. So you know they had to come from another a part of the society in which they actually worked inside the palaces, because it's called the king's right. The king gets everything first before he passes it on to the rest of his family, and then eventually out to the serfdom. You know what I'm saying? To become slaves and all the other stuff out there. Because the United Kingdom went through a part of slavery too. So I had to ask, how is it that I got British blood in me, English blood, French blood, you know what I'm saying, and a few other little small countries over there in the United Kingdom? How did I get their blood mixed in with them if they was chased out of the country? I can say English because English and French was allowed to come into the country. Britain wasn't. Britain was our enemy. Do not let a Brit touch our shores. You know what I'm saying? Now it was like that for hundreds of years, and then they finally sealed ties with Great Britain because we went to war with some of the other kingdoms in the United Kingdom, and then eventually, you know what I'm saying, like I said, it already comes up to date. So you have to look at from the royal family's view of the world in order to understand a lot of the things that's going on in the world, and above it and within it. Because they're the ones that's actually been moving all other society, literally. when I say all other society, I mean all the other countries in the world. So, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end it because it's like it gets even deeper. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just gonna end it right here because I know this video went on a little bit too long. I got deep into it. I can take it deeper, but that's for a whole nother video or a series of videos that I'm gonna make in the future. All right, y'all.